On the face of it, the announcement of the long hanging US India trade deal looks reasonably good for both sides if you consider India's tariff going up from 0 to 18% instead of staying prohibitively high at 50%, reasonably good. Also, if you consider that India will have to eventually bring down its tariffs on US products to zero. President Donald Trump has chosen to be somewhat nebulous in saying on his social media platform, Truth Social, and I quote him now, likewise move forward to reduce their tariffs and non tariff barriers against the United States to zero, unquote. How quickly India will move forward to make it zero, whether right away or not, is not clear to me. The president has also said that India will buy American at a much higher level, and adding that it includes $500 billion of US energy, technology, agricultural, coal, and many other products. These sound like huge commitments for India, but not if you're Prime Minister Narendra Modi and his negotiators. The Prime Minister, who is widely being credited for standing his ground in the face of often abrasive pressure from Washington, has said in his tweet that he's delighted at the deal. He said, and I quote him now, when two large economies and the world's largest democracies work together, it benefits our people and unlocks immense opportunities for mutually beneficial cooperation. For good measure, he added, and I quote now, President Trump's leadership is vital for global peace, stability, and prosperity, unquote. As we await the details of the deal, we should also wait for a development which can negate the whole tariff action. While talking about the India US trade deal, it is extremely important to bear in mind that there is a defining case before the US Supreme Court right now whether the president, in this case Donald Trump, has the power to impose sweeping tariffs under the International Emergency Economic Powers Act. So far, the view is that a majority of the justices is skeptical whether he has that power. Currently, the court is on a winter break and will reopen on February 20th. If the court rules against the tariffs after it returns, which is not altogether inconceivable, then the whole issue of tariffs on the world, including India, gets overtaken by events. In that sense, the tariffs are still up in the air. And then there is the question of refunds of the tariffs so far collected in the event the Supreme Court strikes them down, which is even more complicated. Could or should India have waited until the Supreme Court decided? I do not know the answer to that in specific terms, but that could have been risky. I'm not clear whether in the event of the Supreme Court striking down the tariffs, the US-India deal remains intact as it pertains the levy of 18% tariffs since it has been bilaterally agreed to. There are many questions and hence I hesitate to prematurely articulate. However, like I said, on the face of it, the announcement of the US-India trade deal sounds reasonably good.